This necessarily isn't a horror.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Was he really?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So the last time I played this was before it looked nice. So it didn't look this polished because I think it was just a mod for Gary's mod or Half-Life or something. So it didn't look as good as this. But obviously they brought it out standalone when it became popular, and then they actually sold it. I've had it for a while, but I've not played it. So it'll be nice to play it. I just got to check things on here to see. Right. And they've also got a second game. I think I can't remember what it's called now. There's a second game that they do have as well. I got it in like a bundle together. So maybe we can play that sometime too. If I sit there for another 30 minutes, something might happen. Maybe. Who knows? Room 427. Yeah, I can't remember anything about this game. It looks like there's a message on my machine. I'm typing. Nothing's happening. Oh.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Okay. Just want to turn down the sound a little bit because I feel like I might be smashing your ear pussies. That way of saying it, sorry. Your ears. Eardrums. 428 is locked.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The cup says who fired on it. I like this office already. So there are many different endings to this game.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Shut up. I have to touch everything. I love these narrative games. You know. Input received. Yeah, the narrative games where like you do certain actions and then they're just like, you're not supposed to be doing that. What's that say? Oh, the misfit has fallen.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Yeah, Portal's really good. We'll play through Portal. I don't know what's in these rooms.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so we can do this one of 2 ways. We can follow the narrator, or we can go against it. I'll give you guys like a minute to kind of decide for me, and we'll go with whatever you say. Hey, Karastrand, how you doing? Steven Merchant was good in Portal 2, yeah. I played through Portal 1. I've never played through Portal 2, so we were thinking about playing. Me and Elle said that Portal 2 might be a good one. Oh, I'd have to open up a browser for a poll. Haven't edited clips and stuff, just made a full video. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I'm very well, thank you, buddy. We played through like a really weird game earlier when Darkness Comes. That was a really strange game. Never played anything like that before. I thought I'd just continue with like the weird games, you know, just to fill some time. So yeah, Stanley Parables. So we're gonna go right. Oh. Okay, if you want us to follow the narrator, then press 1 in chat. If not, then press 2. That was easily decided. Okay, going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ooh, the employee lounge. I have to press all the doors. I'm sorry, guys. I have to know. Kept secrets. Oh.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
It is nice. What does this cup say? Coffee nut.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay. 1, if you want to go with the narrator. 2, if you don't want to go with him. I enjoy all of your faces too. Can't remember what I said now. 1 to go with the narrator, 2 to go against, right? Brooke! Brooke, you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. That's really, really cool of you. Holy moly. I feel like I need to give it back to you. It was 2 to go against, right? I love you too, Brooke. Did someone confirm what I said? Yeah, one is with, 2 is against. Okay, so we're going against. So not in here. We'll shut that door. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Sounds familiar. Where are we now? Oh, we need a key card to get in there. What does this cup say? Number 1 streamer? Oh, that's me. What's in here? Can I jump?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you. Show you something beautiful. Look,
I'm sorry.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Danger everywhere. I didn't know that he would. I just saw a thing. I thought it was just gonna like place me on top of it, and that's where we would have had to have gone. Apparently not. You can't jump in this game, so it was a bit sketchy. Where are we going now?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red or blue? Hey, what's up, Greasy? How you doing, man? Get a shout out for Greasy. What? Oh, there's a third door. Okay. So, red, blue, or third? Nice. We've got blue, red, 1, 2 3s. Oh, awesome, Greasy. Glad to hear it. Oh, we can't go through the third one. Okay, so you guys are going to have to finish up the votes. We've got 1 red and 1 blue so far. So, choose. So the narrator said red. So we can go red with the narrator, or we can go blue against. That's great to hear, though, Greasy. How are the streams going? Everyone in Manchester says red. Blue. There's more red. We're still even. Blue. There we go. That's the tiebreaker.
Aha. Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, red or blue? Are we saying we're blue? I check this every time. Yeah, blue. Oh.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, there's still a blue door. Should we go through the blue one? Go through blue.
All right, fine. Go on, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
What the hell?
You see? There's nothing here.
Oh.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
I don't know what I wanted.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option.
Ooh.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Where are we going? 1, 2, or 3? Obviously, left side is 1. 3? 2? Ooh. We've got conflict. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, you are, Pete. You're being a pain in the fucking ass. I've been really good, Greasy. Experimenting with different games, you know, trying to get away from Rocket League on stream. So we've been playing different things, and I feel like it's working out really well. It's fine, Pete. So we've got 2 3s, 2 2, 3 2s. Okay, so we're gonna go middle.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
What are we thinking? We've got 4 2 1s. This is my choice. I don't like the idea of 1. Oh, he's leaving without a vote. That sounds really good. No. Let's see if we can go back. No, we have to vote. I think I might go with 1.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Awesome. It's the same. Oh, there's a leaderboard. Oh, look. Only 1.3% of players skip the intro sequence. Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. How long does it take you to get the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Damn, look how many doors have been opened. $9,328 out of 9,328 players. A dead rat is my superior. Yeah, the voicing's amazing. It really, really is good. Should we stick with the second door? Like, are we gonna just try and annoy him as much as possible? Because I could just do that. Is that what it said? 98.9% of players are more attractive than Stanley. Fucking hell. Why not ask friends for help? Your friends list is empty. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, we go 3? Okay, go 3. I'm down with that.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
It's so weird. I like how interactive it is.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Do we save it or not?
To move him back.
Y for yes, N for no.
If he touches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have
in the world?
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Hey, Phoenix, thank you so much for the...
Well, Stanley...
Oh, it's Minecraft!
At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes... It's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Well, thank you, sir.
Isn't it grand?
Oh, I like this.
Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Oh, yes.
Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Okay. Hello, I played this a long time ago. Before it was like a self-titled thing. So I don't remember the game at all. It was such a long time ago. But we're playing lots of like strange games tonight, so I thought this would like fit perfectly with tonight's theme. The music's so good.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
I haven't got a light. Going down.
No. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Stuck in a thing. Oh. A big thing for the 50 biddies. Yeah, that's as far as I could go, apparently. Can we get a shout out for Musicella, please?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't
It's
figure
Portal.
it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
I want to take the thing with me. Oh.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
What? It's crazy how they've got
Genius.
these games in here.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you
Hey!
stumble through any more of the...
Where the hell are we? Alpha test? Work in progress? Here? Your experience? Where do we go? I've got too much option now. I just free roam it. Oh! Oh, dude, this looks like a horror game, for fuck's sake. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, apparently we've escaped the narrator. This doesn't look good, though. This looks scary. Does anyone recognize this? This looks like a game, right? Which way do we go? Do we go straight or right? 1 for straight, 2 for right. Wait, in the banana. Never. Straight. Right. God, you guys make it so difficult. Straight. Oh, hey, Pingu. I didn't see you pop in there. Okay, we're going straight apparently. Sorry. Oh, there's a room there. Okay, so we can either... It's really dark. We can either go straight again or right. Or should I just run through it? Just let me loose. Yeah, this has been really good. Is it PT? Is that what it looks like? We'll just run it. I'm gonna take a right then. Just gonna run around. Oh, I think they all lead to the same way anyway. Yeah, look, both doors go the same way. Unless they don't. It is. Yeah, okay, they link up. Okay, so that didn't matter anyway. Invalid. Well, from what we learned from the oh. Go in there? From what we learned from the last game, stay near the light. That's usually a good plan. I'll open the doors. Where are we? Are we in his room? Is this it? Is there not any more to this? I can't click on anything. Do we just break the game? Oh!
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Is that it? Did we do it? How many endings is it to this game? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Oh, that sounded like it was gonna open. We're gonna press everything again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna take over on this one, chat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Pete. I'm gonna take over and just run with it and see where we end up, because I think there are like 5 or 6 endings, right? We've got plenty more time to play.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Get Chris out of the broom closet. I like reading all the weird stuff on the boards. I'm not sure if it's something you guys do. Okay, there's nothing else here. The broom closet!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
It is there. The broom closet, this is where they wanted to save someone.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Let's wait a little longer and see if he says anything else.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really standing in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Give me something to do in the broom closet.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
It is a solid broom closet.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite.
He was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Sounds like most of my jobs.
Money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
That's really rude.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Inside.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I'm gonna wait. He's probably not gonna say anything again. Yeah, I think that was it. That was fun. Definitely nothing. Absolutely nothing. See, I'm such a patient person when it comes to video games. Not IRL. But I can sit in this cupboard all day.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
That's so rude.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh god, this is fucking SCP.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Yeah.
Simply repeating. No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it.
Wake up.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
One interesting ending. His voice would be so good for like meditation and stuff, like for headspace. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So there's a broomstick ending.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But
been there, done that.
Back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her? Who is her?
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who is she? I don't know who she is. It'd be cool if they had like a special secret place, like you push a box out of the way and then you can go like a little tunnel. Dark in here. Oh! Shoe.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'm not picking it up. Welcome back, Johnny. Does it keep ringing or? Like, is there not an option?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
No.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Oh.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
Yes!
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness. Is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah,
Oh, God.
welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay. I don't like how the doors do close on themselves. Oh, there's a gate. Okay, we didn't have a choice.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
Happens.
We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Storage boxes up. How do you get up there? Can we go? Oh, you must be able to get a keycard for this, right? There must be a way. Has to be another way. There has to be a way. watch everything much as you can.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Okay. I guess I've messed around for too long now.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
What's going on? Oh, the game's warping. Hey, Siaz, what's it? What left there? Siaz, how you doing? What's happening here? Okay, we don't have an option. What if we close the door? We can't go out this back one, can we? No.
Oh. It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work.
Sorry.
Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
No, don't do it.
I have to.
No! It's illegal. Crap. Ooh. But I'm still here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What,
Sorry.
Did you think that would be funny?
No.
You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Says, yeah, stream's going awesome, man. As usual, just having lots of fun. I feel like I didn't go through a door that was there before.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Oh.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is still changing. This is still changing.
No! Why did you do that?
No!
Hurry. Behave exactly as
Stanley it's just
would.
Okay. It's in like a
choosing responsibly and always
it's in a loop.
The story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It's kind of like slowly pushing us towards the correct way. Let's see what else we can do though whilst we're...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
This doesn't open anymore. Interesting. Is it because we didn't read the board?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's forcing us to do things that we can't go down the stairs, we can go in the broom closet. It's actually forcing us to go the right way now. We can't do anything else. Oh, the boss is up there. Boss is up here.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What is that panda?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Not saying anything.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's up, Connect?
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please.
Oh, it wants
speak
me
the
to say
code
it
into
in
the
here.
receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
He's not going to ask me to say Nightshark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this
That's a
one
secret door.
single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What is happening?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
What?
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this.
So weird.
The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Is that it? Okay, yeah, that's it. That was a really weird ending. Like a really weird ending. Yeah, I died for not saying the code.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
So it wouldn't let me say the code. I was clicking on the door and on the code thing and everything. It just wasn't allowing me to do anything. So it technically wasn't really my fault for that. Has this started from the very beginning, or is this kind of like remembered what I was doing before?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I kind of want, you know, like the storage place on the right. I kind of want to get a key card to go up across the other way, but I don't know how to get there. It's happy that we went left, I think.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Trying to see if there's any other doors we could use. I think we kind of broke the game in that last ending. I think that's what happened. Oh, executive bathroom. Didn't say that last time. There has to be something here, surely. I'm really enjoying this though. This is awesome. Oh, the room's changed.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Why is this coming up with like a cursor? 2845.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since
There
he could
isn't
never
anything-
possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, it's here.
Two, 8, 4, 5. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I love how he gets so annoyed and impatient. Like he's just like, why are you just not following the story? Just be normal and just follow the story the way it should be. Okay, there's nothing down here. Oh! Wait. Where am I? Not anything here? I need to turn up the... There must be something down here. Two 845 6969. I wonder where this is going to take us. I really like how strange the endings are.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ooh.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Fuck. Achievement unlocked. For turning on achievements. Amazing. How do we save? I'm just going to carry on from here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This is interesting.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, for me to do. Move on. What was I again? 4 something. One of these. 472, maybe?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
I refuse.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
After pressing the button 4. Oh. Well then I guess I'll carry on. Roll offline. Oh. Best thing. It's over here. Both disabled. It's all offline at the moment. So this turns it on? Can't press it. What's this over here? Oh, it's more. Same thing. Okay, Fletcher. That sounds good. Oh, F4 destroys the controls. Probably. Try it.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley.
Oh fuck, was that the wrong
You
one?
didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
You're just saying 2 minutes.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
3?
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start.
Crap.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
This is saying 3. That's 4 up there.
Good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times,
Where's the
I
purple
let the
button?
office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say,
Incorrect.
this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
I don't know.
I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no
What's the
idea
thing,
where
yellow?
you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Yellow.
Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this.
It's not allowing me to do anything.
Everything, anything. Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
I think I'm dead.
Here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control
These aren't
this
working
world,
anymore.
That's fine.
How do we get them
I'm
to
going
work?
Destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh boy. How do you solve that puzzle? That's tough. What does it mean? The way to load from where it was.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
I don't know anymore.
No, but Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except
maybe
badly.
don't.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing
Oh, we've
will
done
hurt
that, haven't
me.
we? Just gonna go from here and have a look at the other escape ending.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh god. Really? You turn back?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Shut
At
up.
this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
You actually die? Oh. Oh, I survived. Oh my
As the
god.
machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Oh no!
that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Adios.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. Okay. What are you doing to me?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I was already dead from the moment I hit start. Oh, this is like this is the map. Nature painting. Stanley's computer. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development though. Or layout remains almost identical to the first and second. Quite cool. Spacing of this open section was important to get right. Border had been moved in order to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Filing cabinet. Office computer. Oh, there's 3 types of boss office. Interesting. There's so many more endings to do. Is this like the final ending then?
Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story. And finally, he pushed the number 9. Nothing
Oh, cool. Got the outtakes of the narrator, like that. The end is never the end, yeah. Never the end, yeah. Freedom ending. No, no spoilers. No spoilers. Oh. What happened there? An exit. And have a look around just in case there's like something else that we can kind of break. Knowingly break. Narrator emails. Oh, right, you get narrator emails. Okay, should we we'll bugger off then, I guess. Kind of a small team, wasn't it, that made this? Very clever though. Like the idea behind it is really, really cool.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Do you get an achievement if you quit out when it tells you to quit? That'd be really interesting if it did. What a weird ending. You called it with the old F4, yeah, you did. Nothing apparently. Oh, that's it. We're just dead now. There's just nothingness forever. I thought it was loading.